Since late July 2025, a strange wave of energy has started sweeping across Sagittarius skies. No knocking, no sign to recognize. It didn't wait for you to be ready. It chose the exact moment you let go. Maybe you felt it, without knowing how to name it. That restlessness in your chest, that feeling like someone was watching you from behind a memory, that sense that something you once deeply wanted and once left behind has quietly returned. The end of July was just the first signal. The real wave only begins to rise as you step into August. Sagittarius, you thought the moment had passed. You assumed the chance had slipped away. You told yourself if something was going to happen, it would have happened already. But the truth is, it's only just beginning. The moment Mars touches your south node, a karmic portal opens, and something that once belonged to you starts making its way back, not in the form of memory, but as an urge. Take action. Go back to the part of you that was once left behind. Complete what you once believed had expired. If you haven't felt anything clearly yet, don't rush to doubt yourself. Maybe you just haven't found the name for this feeling yet. Because some portals only open when you stop trying to see them. This energy doesn't shine like a spotlight. It leaks like an underground spring. It doesn't crash down for you to notice. It slowly recedes, so that you can finally see yourself in the emptiness. You're stepping into the opening phase of a long awakening cycle that lasts until mid-2026. But you won't recognize it with logic. It might arrive as a sudden jolt while brushing your teeth. A sentence that slips out for no reason. Someone you had forgotten, suddenly showing up in your dreams. And here's what you need to remember. The soul's memories don't need to be recalled. They just need the right moment to return. And for Sagittarius, that moment has just begun. If you feel yourself going quiet in your own life, as if something's waiting to break through, but you haven't quite touched its name yet, don't try to explain it. Because this isn't something to understand, it's something to move through. When Mars touches the south node, right within the sign of Sagittarius, the soul's blueprint begins to download, quietly but deep enough to stir old structures, and you'll start to feel it through very ordinary signals. Your body shifts its rhythm, your behavior veers off old reflexes, your emotions become strangely sensitive. It all begins in early August. You might not remember the exact date. You may not even realize when the sensation first appeared. All you know is, one morning you wake up and something in you feels different. Not a big change, just everything feels louder, the light feels harsher, and the world suddenly feels too crowded. Even you feel like you're being pushed out of your familiar zone. You pick up your phone, then put it down. You wanted to talk. Now you're exhausted by the thought of replying. You cancel plans and without a specific reason. You walk into a crowd and all you want is to leave. It's not fatigue. It's not depression. It's your body beginning to preserve energy, to prepare for something else that's coming. From early August, as Mars begins activating Sagittarius's soul field, the karmic axis starts to tremble, and the body will be the first to receive the signal. And you'll notice yourself losing patience with anything half-hearted, losing interest in hollow conversations, losing drive for things that no longer call your true name. It's not that you're changing, it's that your inner frequency is upgrading. You might find yourself wanting to clean suddenly, as if your living space is preparing to welcome a new version of you. You might feel drawn to journaling, not to explain anything, but as if some ancient code is being transcribed through your hand. You might reread an old message and suddenly understand something you hadn't dared to look at before. And if someone starts to drain your energy, even if they've done nothing wrong, it's not because they changed. It's because you're no longer vibrating on the same frequency. What used to feel familiar in their energy now suddenly registers as static in your ears. Because when a part of your soul begins to awaken, everything that no longer fits will start sending distorted signals. And you, without knowing why, will begin to step back. When Mars and the South Node conjunct right in Sagittarius, it feels like a soul memory calling. It doesn't come to warn you about something ending, but to awaken something that's finally ready to begin. You once started something, but for whatever reason, it was never finished. Maybe it was an unfinished plan, a passion project you abandoned, a journey you promised to return to, or simply a version of yourself you once meant to become, but lost somewhere in the journey of growing up. And when Mars meets the South Node again, something strange happens. You suddenly feel the urge to take action, but you don't know exactly what you're acting on. You find yourself revisiting an old idea, but don't understand why it's knocking now. You notice signs, people, words, and feel they're trying to remind you of something important, though you can't yet name it. This isn't motivation. This is karmic activation, a kind of energy that doesn't arise from the present, but is released from a past deeper than your conscious mind can reach. It's not that you suddenly feel like doing something. It's your soul remembering why it began in the first place. And this activation, it won't be gentle. Because when Mars, the planet of action, touches the part of your soul you once neglected, every suppressed emotion, every missed decision, every excuse you ever made to delay will all come flooding back. You may find yourself wanting to rewrite something you once left unfinished, wanting to reply to a message you once left unread, wanting to complete something no one ever reminded you of, but that you never truly forgot. And here's what matters. It's not that you've been given a new mission, it's that an old promise has returned to be fulfilled. Mars doesn't ask, "Are you ready?" It only asks, "How much longer will you keep running from it?" When karmic energy begins to reflect outward through actions, situations, and people around you, you'll realize it's no longer just quiet symptoms within, but now showing up as living mirrors, forcing Sagittarius to see themselves through the experiences of others. You think you're observing the world, but in truth, the world is reflecting you. Starting in early August, as karmic energy begins to surface, you'll notice everything around you becoming sharper, tenser, more revealing. Not because the world has changed, but because it's now a mirror, magnifying the energy you're putting out, even when you don't mean to. You'll feel irritated more easily. Someone interrupts you, and it triggers you intensely. Someone goes silent on you, and you feel abandoned. A minor conversation can suddenly make you want to walk away, but pause before you blame. Because in that moment, if you're still enough to truly look, you'll see. They're doing to you exactly what you've quietly done to others. This isn't punishment. This is the mirror phase, a special astrological period where the universe lets you see the true impact of your energy on the world. Have you ever masked your disappointment with a smile? Now you'll meet someone who does the exact same thing. Have you ever stayed silent when you knew you should have spoken up? Now you'll witness someone turning away, and you'll feel the pain from the other side. No one is trying to hurt you. It's simply that what you once sent out is now returning on the same frequency, not to cause pain, but to help you realize what you called unintentional has always had consequences. This is a time when you may feel reluctant to engage, easily triggered emotionally, and more hurt by yourself than by anyone else. But this isn't weakness. It's the sign that you're stepping into a higher frequency, a place where only honesty will carry you forward. And if you find yourself overreacting to something small, don't fix it. Don't justify it. Don't look away. Just ask, what am I seeing about myself through this moment? Because when the universe holds up a mirror, it's not asking for perfection. It only asks you to be brave enough not to look away. You'll begin to feel yourself shifting into a strange new state, a kind of internal motion, quiet but constant, as if something's about to erupt, but you can't tell from where. You just know that your body, your emotions, and even your destiny are moving, not outward, but rising from within. And this is the preparation phase before the energy breaks open, where you can no longer run from yourself. There may be a moment, very recently or this very week, when you feel like you're sitting on a current of energy you can't name. No clear reason for the unease, yet you can't relax. Something's about to burst, but you don't yet know which direction it wants to go. You may start repeating old behaviors, but they now feel out of place. Responding to messages with small talk, only to feel like you're faking it. Showing up to a gathering, then sitting there like a stranger to yourself. Trying to finish an old task, but the rhythm just isn't there. What used to be you suddenly feels too tight. This is the in-between zone, a suffocating stage between the old version of you fading out and a new one struggling to rise to the surface. You're no longer who you were, but you haven't yet defined who you're becoming. And it's this in-between state that makes you feel heavy, cold inside, restless, as if someone's waiting for you on the other side of yourself. There is nothing wrong with you. This is not a crisis. This is a transition, and you are the one who must walk through it alone. No one else can tell you which way to go, because the path doesn't exist till you take the first step. You may find yourself cleaning out your closet without knowing why. Deleting emails, unfollowing people, canceling plans for no clear reason, or simply staring out the window without really seeing anything. Nothing new seems to be happening, but everything old is silently breaking down. And here's the truth. You're not stuck. Your energy is simply being recalibrated before it breaks free from the old tracks. Sometimes the biggest thing happening is the silence inside you. When the inner transition reaches a breathless threshold where your mind can no longer hold it together, that's when the energy flips. No warning, just a sudden, undeniable feeling that you're no longer allowed to delay. Not because you choose, but because it's reached the limit and it throws you off the old tracks. You'll realize it doesn't come with a clear sign. There's no bell, no warning. You might just be standing in the kitchen or curled up on the sofa scrolling your phone like any other day, and then something happens. Not outside, but inside. Something suddenly snaps, a silent crack, loud enough for your soul to hear. This is the break point, the moment the energy flips, as if someone just switched something at the back of your neck. You no longer hesitate. You no longer make excuses. You can no longer tolerate standing still. You'll find yourself hitting send on a message you've kept in drafts for weeks, saying something you never dared to say before, or simply walking away from something that used to hold you hostage through fear, not because you've become braver, but because delay has become unbearable. And here's the truth. This moment doesn't wait for you to understand it. It's not logical. It doesn't need your certainty. It just needs you to get up. You may feel as if the rhythm in your chest has changed key. Your body wants to move, even if it doesn't know where. Your mind goes hazy, but your heart feels sharply clear. You're not panicking. You're being pulled to where your soul needs to go. And if you resist, if you retreat back to your old safe zone, it will hurt more than usual. Because this time, you'll know deep down you're turning your back on yourself. This isn't the time to understand. This is the time to nod and move forward. This is the aftershock. The place where Sagittarius slowly begins to realize that sudden impulsive action fit perfectly into a timeline you once thought had already gone in a different direction. A quiet alignment, no announcement, no plan. But when you look back, there's one undeniable feeling. So this was always meant to happen. And then you start to notice small signals appearing. You thought you acted on a whim. You thought you just took a risk without thinking. But then a few days later, maybe just a few hours, things begin to align. An invitation shows up. An old friend returns. A door that had long been closed quietly unlocks itself. No cheers, no fireworks, just piece of your life falling exactly into the place it was meant to be all along. And then you understand. What you just did wasn't random. It was the response to something you once wished for. You just don't remember when you made that wish. You'll look back and see a phone call you just made opened a new rhythm. A canceled plan spared you from something that no longer belongs in your life. A cleaning session, a piece of writing, or a cutoff suddenly untangled something you didn't even know was stuck. When you act in alignment with your new frequency, life starts saying yes to you. No detailed plan needed. No one needs to understand. No need for justification. Because you've tapped into a stream of movement that's been waiting for you all along. And if you find yourself sitting down in the middle of an ordinary day, looking out the window and wondering, why do I feel so light? Then maybe you've just walked away from something that no longer belonged to you, and the universe is gently returning a new timeline in your hands. Not a reward, not a miracle, but the natural consequence of no longer postponing yourself. Sagittarius steps into a new version of themselves, not because they've been upgraded, but because they've finally released what no longer matches their true frequency. You don't need to call it a turning point. You don't have to post a status saying you just went through an awakening, because nothing dramatic has happened. It's just that you're no longer living the way you used to. The change isn't in the circumstances. It's in how you no longer react the same way. A conversation that once hurt you now doesn't. A relationship that used to cling, you can now walk away from without guilt. An invitation you can decline now without feeling like you're being cruel. It's not because you've grown cold. It's because you've remembered your original frequency, and everything that no longer matches it is simply fading away. This is not an ending. This is a new baseline. A place where you no longer search, but allow yourself to become the one radiating a frequency strong enough that what's meant for you finds its own way in. You no longer need control. No longer need to constantly choose right. No longer need to chase anything to feel worthy, because after all the quiet inner movements, you've started to walk in rhythm with the life your soul is meant to live. And if you look back on the past month and notice something slipped away before you could hold on to it, don't regret it. Maybe it was just the last memory of a version of you that no longer exists. When you shed roles that have grown too tight, your real life will find a way to step in. You don't need to look for a destination, because this time you're not moving out of lack. You're moving because you've remembered who you are. The Mars South Node cycle in Sagittarius is just beginning. From now until mid-2026, you'll continue to shed old layers, not to lose yourself, but to reveal the one thing worth keeping, the version of you that matches your true frequency. And if you're still listening by now, maybe your soul already knows. It's time to live in alignment with your frequency. Voiceover, closing line. If it feels like you've just shed a layer of old skin, if you no longer know what to call yourself, but also know you're not going back, then maybe you're standing right at the crossing point between what has ended and what's waiting for you to say yes. Let your new frequency choose your next life. And if you need someone to remind you that you're not lost, you're just finally going the right way without asking for permission, then stay with this channel, because this is where souls come home one by one.